Hey everybody, what is going on? So in this section, I'm going to show you another powerful cold email formula called the PSA Formula. And obviously, PSA is going to be an acronym for something special here. So the PSA formula essentially stands for PSA, pain, solution, and ask. Now, the PSA formula, it is a powerful tool if you want to try different templates, and let's go ahead and dive into it. So how this is going to work is essentially you want to talk about the pains first, right? So pain is you make the prospect's latent pain into a realized pain, meaning that, they may experience a problem, but they may not realize that they actually have that problem. And so you make them realize it and then you make it hurt as much as possible. Solution is you want to position your product or service as the solution to your prospect's pain. And essentially you're just pitching your product or service and you want to make sure that you're only giving enough information to inspire some type of curiosity to get the prospect to actually take the meeting with you and nothing more. And finally is the ask. That is when you do a call for action and you ask for the meeting. So let's go ahead and talk about the subject lines when it comes to the PSA formula. So what you want to do is you just want to talk about your value proposition for the prospect. So two examples are generate more appointments with outreach, right? Assuming your company is called outreach, or generate more foot traffic with Yelp, or generate more revenue with that, or scale your Facebook ads with XYZ. So essentially you're just providing a clear value proposition for your prospect, and from there they should decide whether or not they should open up your email. You could also say something like increase revenue by scaling your Facebook ads, right? So let's go ahead and give you some examples of this. And the subject line I'm going to use is increasing revenue by leveraging and whatever your product or service is. So, hey prospect, I noticed that your website currently isn't running whatever solution, which typically increases monthly revenue by 34%. Leveraging that solution to increase sales is something we actually help marketing companies with all the time. Some of our clients include XYZ. So if it makes sense to talk, let me know what your calendar looks like. But if not, who do you recommend I talk to? Thanks, your first name. So in this example, it's pretty similar to the chaining strategy. And why it is because a lot of the things that in the chaining strategy do work, except in this one, you're just changing up some things like the subject line. Instead of looking for the appropriate person, you are trying to add some value into their lives. And how this works is when you talk about the problem in the beginning, that's going to be the main difference. So let's say you're selling a software, right? So let's say you're selling, like a chat software or a chat bot. If you notice that this company isn't using any chat bots on their website, well, you could say, hey, I noticed that you weren't using any chat bots, which typically increases revenue by 34%. And I just want to see if that was something you're interested in, right? So that's the psychology behind it works. You're just kind of pointing out a problem. Maybe they're not doing something that their competitors are, or maybe other people are making a ton of money doing something in a certain way and they're not doing it, so they're missing out. And so you create that sense of urgency that, hey, you have a problem, I can solve it, let's talk if it makes sense to talk. In the close, obviously, and of course you want to have some social proof. Some of our clients include XYZ. If you don't have any clients, don't put it there. And or you could say some of the clients we're talking to, and then from there, so if it makes sense to talk, let me know what your calendar looks like. But if not, who do you recommend I talk to? So in this situation, you're not hard pressing them to take a meeting with you. You're just saying, hey, if you have this problem too and I have a solution, let me know if it makes sense to talk, and let me shoot over your schedule. And they're going to tell you a time, and then you're going to schedule the meeting. So very simple, straightforward, PSA, pain, solution, call to action. Let's go ahead and give you an example. Let's say I'm saying subject line, increasing conversion rates of your sales funnel with Hotjar, right? So Hotjar is actually a software that I use personally. And basically all it does is, I'll go ahead and show you on the website. So essentially Hotjar is a marketing software. You put it onto your website. It's similar to Google Analytics, except that when you're put it on your website, you could see what people are clicking, as you can see here, right? So if everyone's clicking like this button, it'll be red. If they're not really clicking it, it'll be blank. And it helps websites essentially figure out what's working and what's not, okay? Going into this example, I'm gonna say I am a salesperson at Hotjar, right? So increasing conversion rates of your sales funnel with Hotjar. Hey, Sarah, I noticed that your website currently isn't running a visual heat map tracker, which typically increases sales conversions by 37% for our clients. You might have a beautiful website, but sometimes it can be difficult to tell what your users are actually looking at. Now, leveraging heat maps with Hotjar to increase sales is something we help online course creators with all the time. So let's say I'm going for the online course niche, right? Some of our clients include Tony Robbins, Mindvalley, and Entrepreneur.com. So if it makes sense to talk, let me know what your calendar looks like. But if not, who do you recommend I talk to? Thanks, Patrick. So in this example, I'm keeping it short and sweet. I'm saying like, hey, your website isn't running any visual heat tracker. And they might be thinking, what's a visual heat tracker, right? And then you say, okay, well, whatever it is, it makes more money for our client. And so here, there actually is the opportunity to explain a little bit more of what Hotjar is, right? So you can add another paragraph right here if I wanted to. And then from there, you say, leveraging this is something we help with online course creators like you all the time. So let me know if it makes sense to talk. Some of our clients include Tony Robbins, Mindvalley, Entrepreneur.com. So very simple strategy in just pointing out a problem, showing how you can solve it, doing your little pitch, including social proof, and then a call to action at the end. Let's give you another example. Let's say I'm selling Instagram consulting services, right? So I say, hey, prospect, I noticed that your restaurant isn't running an Instagram account, which typically can increase local foot traffic by 65% for restaurants in the Los Angeles area. Starting, running, and creating content for Instagram is something we actually help LA-based restaurants like yours with all the time. In fact, some of our clients include XYZ. So if it makes sense to talk, let me know what your calendar looks like. But if not, who do you recommend I talk to? Thanks, Patrick. So same exact format, right? Pointing out a problem, showing that your solution can solve the problem and the results that you will give this person. Put in some social proof, call to action at the end, bada bing, bada boom, and then people will take a meeting with you. And so with that, that's pretty much how you're going to use the pain solution ask formula. Bring out the pains, come up with a solution, provide value, what are the tangible results you're going to give to somebody, and then the call to action at the end. So that's pretty much how you're going to use this formula, and go ahead and use this strategy or use other strategies if you want. I just want to give you more options so that, you're not just stuck with one template, especially if it doesn't work for your specific sale. So with that said, that's everything we have to cover when it comes to using the pain solution ask strategy, and I will see you guys in the next section.